Alrighty, so as I reported before, Stand Up Sports Bar is now reporting that Deion Sanders' son, Mr. Shedeur Sanders, of course, was not given a chance to go away to go to a team in the first round of that draft. And a lot of folks believe that he should have been a first round draft pick. A lot of folks believe he shouldn't have been a first round draft pick. The fact of the matter, he wasn't. Not only was he not a first round draft pick, the dude got pranked and was convinced to believe he did expect, or he should have expected, to be drafted in the first round. And I just want to know from the panel, because we do have the illustrious Bad Top Bricks in his house here to talk about this today as well. We also got the only Bo Bizarns in this bit. We got Solo Jones, top and bottom. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of salt and pepper, completely separated from from the head to the face. And yeah, we just want to chat on what exactly is going on and why is it that Shedeur ended up where he did. Is what this frat boy did something that impacted the draft in a way that he didn't expect it to? Did he get enough punishment? Is it okay to just apologize? I mean, there's a lot going on with this whole thing. So I'm just wondering, man, sound off, jump ball, open mic, just speak out.
Well, first of all, he was not only a frat boy, he was the son of the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. So what happened was the NFL gave each player that's going to get drafted a special cell phone just for the draft. He saw the number on his daddy's pad and copied the number and called him, and that's how it happened.
Yeah. But when that happened, though, like I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, how irresponsible it was for him to leave his iPad open at his house." And there's a degree to that, but I would just think that I don't put as much on the coaches that do the son for going out of his way, Ty, and making this call. I just feel like it was egregious. Have y'all heard the call? If you haven't heard the call, okay, let's go ahead and listen to the call, and let's talk about how egregious it is on the other side of it. This is actually the call that was made to Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur.
Hey, is this Shedeur? This is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. Been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
This ain't gonna be nothing there.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So, for what? For laughs, for likes, for views?
Hey, first of all, this is not the first time that an NFL player has been pranked in the draft. This is not the first time this happened. So the NFL is saying that they're going to make a more stricter policy.
This day 3, so now I gotta have my phone.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You said they're gonna put phones with.
They're gonna have a more stricter policy next time. But it's not the first time this has happened in a draft. So it ain't like it's never happened before. It has happened before.
What happened before?
Players have got these phony calls before in the past.
Oh,
this one was just documented on the internet, but it ain't the first time it's happened to a player.
It does feel targeted at the popularity of the Sanders family. What say you, Ty, and then Solo? What are your thoughts on what's going on here?
I mean, it looks like it's an obvious move in that direction. I mean, the young man recorded all of this, so he clearly wanted to be acknowledged for doing this. So it's sad. It's actually sad because you look at the draft and what it means to these young men who work their asses off to get to the position to be acknowledged or even be taken in the NFL draft. I mean, this is a dream come true for a lot of them. And for somebody like Shedeur, who had high aspirations on being a first round draft pick, and to watch him kind of slip, and then you get that call that you've been waiting for so long, or you think you get that call, only for somebody to like really be playing with you. And it's like, I could imagine how he felt in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Because he still didn't get drafted after that call was made. It still took a while for him to get drafted, and to sit there with that level of anticipation after you just got pranked, like
Yeah.
it had to like, if he has any amount of ego, which I can almost guarantee he does.
Yeah.
In that moment, he was humbled. He was very much humbled. If the whole experience wasn't humbling enough, this definitely was something that humbled him in that moment. But it's not. I think that the coach who decided to leave his iPad around his son, whom he knows who his son is. We all, as parents, know who our kids are. We know if we have responsible, mature kids, or we got some knucklehead, knuckleheads for sons or daughters. We know our kids. So that was very irresponsible on his behalf to leave that out, if that was the case at all. Because I don't know if the dad could have been part of it. I wouldn't put it past nobody.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this whole Shedeur situation just feels wrong. It just doesn't feel right. Now, we talked a little bit about this last night, and I told you I know why this happened, and it's his dad's fault. It's Deion's
Oh.
fault.
Oh shit.
Deion decided that it would be a good idea to be on a talk show and make comments such as, "I'm going to control where my son goes and who he signs with." Now, this is not like unfamiliar territory. Eli Manning did this in a draft one year where he got drafted by the San Diego Chargers, and him and his father decided that they were not going to play for the Chargers. Under no circumstances were they going to play for the Chargers. And the Chargers were forced to scramble and make a trade that they didn't really want to make, but they had to because the quarterback didn't want to play for their team. And they made a trade with the Giants and wound up sending Eli to New York. So this is it just feels wrong, because I understand that a lot of organizations wouldn't want to take that risk, not knowing whether or not this player will play for their team or not, and that's kind of the risk you run by making comments like what Deion said. I understand being a father. I understand protecting your son, wanting to protect your son, but you at some point have to let go and allow him to become a man. And the only way that he's going to be able to become a man is if you stop holding his hand. And so this was unfortunate for Shedeur, not only Shedeur, but also Shiloh, because a lot of people aren't talking about the fact that Shiloh didn't get drafted at all. Shiloh got lucky and was signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as an unrestricted free agent, but there's no guarantee that he'll make the team. He just got drafted, but you still got to make the roster.
Is that indicative of his lack of talent, or is that somebody saying, "I just don't want a part of the Sanders show, and I don't want to have to deal with the antics that come along with hiring somebody that's in the Sanders family"? We know the spectacle that is Deion Sanders and everything around him, and sometimes folks just don't want to have to deal with the stress of everything being under that microscope. What say you? Why didn't he actually get drafted? Because I've heard you before speak on the lack of talent of Shiloh, if I can say so myself. So,
Shiloh, to his defense, Shiloh was probably in the top 5 safeties in the draft. Shiloh is good enough to play in the NFL. Shiloh actually got his own agent now. He did separate from his father. Shiloh has his own agent.
Oh, okay. Dang.
Yeah.
So you think that he's worthy of that title, top 5 safeties?
I think he was at least the top 10. He was good enough to make the NFL as a safety.
Ty?
I mean, he's got the size. He has all of the necessary abilities and traits to be a successful player in the NFL. So yeah, he's good enough to make the NFL. He shouldn't have gone on undrafted. I'll say that. 5th, 6th, 7th round, fine. Fine by me. But not getting drafted at all, not no teams taking a look at him. It all felt like Deion's comments hit home for the NFL, and a lot of owners took offense to it. And what they did was basically block the Sanders from getting into a higher pick.
Shout out real quick shout out to the IG comments. VV Saya says that the Sanders NIL is this true? The Sanders NIL deal is worth more than his contract. He got more for his college deal than his contract.
I told you that.
Yeah. See, he may make as much as $4 million by going in the 5th round. If he'd won in the 1st round, it'd been around $40 million. So by him going in the 5th round, he'd make around $4 million. But he's already making that more than that in NIL deals and sponsorships.
So did he have to go to the draft yet? Did he have to go?
Yeah, he was the senior.
Oh, so people, I remember Chris Winkie, and I remember folks playing like for 5 years. I'm not saying he should have, but
let's if you get redshirted. You get an extra year if you're redshirted your first.
Now back to Deion's comment. What makes it any different than what Deion did than what Archie Manning did? So why is Deion a bad guy and Archie Manning not a bad guy?
Ty?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's not that he's a bad guy. I never said he was a bad guy. I said it was his fault. And I stand by that. It was not right when Archie Manning did it. It wasn't right when Deion did it. The thing about it, the real issue this year in this draft, because the year that Eli came out, it was a quarterback heavy draft. I believe who do we have out of that? Phillip Rivers came out of that draft. Eli Manning. Shoot, man. I'd have to pull up the draft. I don't have the draft right in front of me. But I believe it was a heavy quarterback laden draft. This was not a heavy quarterback laden draft. Usually in the draft, and y'all can speak to this as well, quarterbacks usually go pretty early in most drafts. This year, we only had one quarterback go early, and then you got Jackson Dart at like the 28th pick or 20, whatever pick he was, being the 2nd quarterback overall picked in the draft. And then after that, you had Tyler. No. Who was the 3rd quarterback to be picked? Tyler Show?
Gabriel
for the Saints.
I know Dylan went in the 3rd round.
Okay,
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, you had Dylan Gabriel go. You had Jalen Milroe go, but it was very much spread out where they went.
But check this out. Let's look at the business of football. You've been drafting quarterbacks for years that don't pay off. So they pay quarterbacks a lot of money. So most of the team might have been looking at, we need to get some more quality players. Even if we do get a quarterback, we need somebody to protect them, and we need a defense that can stop people. And why money don't make it through the league, a lot of them don't even make it. You know what I'm saying? So you're giving them a lot of money to sit on the bench. So maybe teams are saying, hey, this time we need to get some quality players on both sides of the ball, and then we'll get the quarterback, because the quarterbacks coming out of the draft are not always going to make it. So we give them a lot of money for nothing. So let's look at it that way. And also, let's look at the fact that Shiloh. I mean, Shedeur. Or I mean NFL, the NFL network, the ESPN network, and all the radio shows. Everybody was waiting to see when Shedeur Sanders was going to go. So guess how much money they made by keeping people watching, selling sponsorship and advertising to the 144 pick. People would have stopped watching that draft if Shedeur would have got picked in the first round. That's all people wanted to see. So they made some money off keeping him to the 144 pick also.
Wait. Is there any legitimacy to that? Because that sounds like a conspiracy theory.
It is a conspiracy theory. It is of mine. But when you look at the numbers, who else you gonna wait to see get drafted other than Shedeur Sanders in the draft? Who are people gonna stick around for 4-5 days to watch?
Well, just to that point, Bo P, nobody really after the second round, nobody really watches the draft. Like you hear the picks as they come in, but nobody watches it because they're not like the players aren't coming up anymore. So,
but they did this time. They watched the whole draft till Shedeur got picked. This time they did watch the draft.
Well, when you said they, like who are you referring to? Like they watch it? Like you talking about the analysts,
the public stuck around to watch this draft this time. People were tuning in to this draft. I had comedy shows, and we had it on in the green room, and we had it on our phones and everything. People were trying to see when Shedeur Sanders going to get drafted. So people did watch longer than they normally would in this draft. They did.
Well, that was my point is not, like nobody's physically actually watching it. They're hearing it in the background or they got it in their phones because like this is typical behavior of every draft. Like regardless of who it is, whether it's Shedeur or it's Hunter Renfrow or a player that people thought should have went high and they didn't go high, so they're waiting for their name to be called. But all I was saying was like after like the second round, most people aren't like sitting there like they did for the first and the second round, waiting for the picks to come in, watching as the players come up, pull up, and everything like that. You just kind of have it on your phone. I had it on my phone, and as the names come in, my draft alerts tell me who the players are that are coming in. But by that time, that's a long time, 5 days to sit there and watch an entire draft. I don't know too many people that do it unless you are an analyst or somebody who speaks about sports. But your point of why Shedeur might have dropped is taken, and that's what I was agreeing with. This year's draft was more about building your entire team up. This wasn't about focusing on a quarterback. This was about protecting the quarterbacks, protecting our running backs, making sure we shore up our offensive linemen, making sure we shore up our defensive lines, make sure we're getting better on defense or filling holes. And I saw a lot of that. The entire first round was a whole bunch of offensive linemen and defensive players, from cornerbacks to defensive tackles to defensive ends to offensive to right tackles, left tackles, offensive guards. You had tight ends getting drafted fairly high, which you don't typically see. They're like unless they're really, really good. But we saw like 2 or 3 tight ends go out in the first round. So so when you start seeing a draft unfold like it did, this draft where you didn't see so many quarterbacks getting taken, periodically taken, and at the rate that they were taken, this definitely was one of those drafts where they said that the quarterback position was not as talented as it's been in the past. So this quarterback class could be like, in any other class, these quarterbacks would have been like, maybe third rounders, the second or third rounders. So,
but speaking of conspiracy theory, do you think Dylan Gabriel should have been drafted before Shedeur Sanders? He was never rated to be higher than Shedeur Sanders. So I know they was done on purpose, man. It had to be a purpose for this. Why would they draft a quarterback that they know is not as good as him and then go back and get Shedeur Sanders later on? And guess what they did too? They moved Shedeur Sanders so far away from Deion Sanders that he can't show up to his practice or his game. Boulder, Colorado is probably 1,400 miles from Cleveland. So they ain't like going to be dropping in every day. So this was done on a purpose reason, man, to get him as far away from his daddy. And they drafted that boy at 144 because I'm telling you, people was watching the draft, dog. You may not have watched it, but you had it on your phone. But some people was watching the damn draft to see when Shedeur Sanders was going to get picked, man. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah, and look how far he is from his daddy now, 1,400 miles. So it ain't like he gonna be popping in like, hey, what y'all doing? My boy need to be on the field. Yeah.
All right, hey, look, fair enough, but they was also talking about him going to the Giants at one point in time, and that's long away from Colorado too. So let's not sit there and pretend like the distance is a factor. Number one, number two, it's 2025, OP. Deion Sanders can FaceTime that nigga from wherever the fuck he is. You know what I'm saying? It don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Distance and all of that. Number three, like the whole notion of them caping as if he had gotten drafted, that people would stop watching at that point, because it doesn't feel like they kept tuning in just to waiting to see. Like most people, like, oh, he didn't go the first round. Okay, I'll wait for the notification on the phone. So I don't know.
Man, was you watching the draft? All you heard the analysts saying, Shedeur Sanders still on the board. When is he coming off? That man, come on now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not tripping, but I mean, what also about? I read an article. In fact, you know what? I want to bring this up too, real quick, and then I want to go ahead.
You can read. I know you can read. Go ahead.
Yeah, only on your Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying? I try to do Saturday night here, but article basically was saying that Deion Sanders' son Shedeur was slighted because of his attitude, because they didn't necessarily like some of the stuff that Ty was saying. Like there was some outward rejection of teams prior to them even being on the slate. And for them to start making those type of moves and for him to project himself kind of like, yo, I'm the golden child, you must kneel and draft me, off-put a lot of people. And it was almost like a text message went to all of the owners of every team that was like, yo, we gonna teach this little nigga a lesson. You don't just come out here thinking you finna just, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck who your daddy is, nigga. Fuck your little daddy. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you gonna wait and you gonna get picked when we pick you. Now, Cam, we got you. Trav, we got you. This is where the talent is. But for the reality show stars, we're gonna show y'all how we treat reality show stars. Am I completely way off with that, Solo?
Yes, you are. Go ahead, Solo.
Talk to me.
Man, for a minute there, I thought I was one of the spectators. They were never gonna pass the mic to Solo. Y'all all are correct. Every one of y'all are correct. This has to do with what Bo Peep said. They made money off that. They made money off of that because everybody was waiting, regardless if it was one way or another, social media, whatever you want to call it. Everybody, including me, was trying to figure out why the fuck this nigga ain't got drafted yet, and they was making money off it. Back to what Ty said. Hell yeah, man! Every time you turn around, Deion got something to say. He was on ESPN. He was telling them, look, man, my son go, I go. That's how I go, nigga. Me and him to the end. No, nigga, no. No, they don't want you. They want him. If they wanted you, Dallas Cowboys would have offered you the hella deal, and you would have been right there with your boy. But that didn't work. Oh, no, because they didn't want your black ass there having prime time all over the place. They didn't want it. So, yeah, they want to push y'all two niggas far away from each other as possible. Ain't no goddamn way they was going to put that nigga close to him at all. I believe that in my heart. You can call it conspiracy if you want to. Put the mic back on me, goddamn it. They spent a whole fucking long-ass time. I sat here and watched these niggas talk about these motherfuckers. Let me explain something to y'all right now. That boy going to be bad in the NFL. He going to, I promise you, because they ain't got no real quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Name one. The only one is old boy Patrick Mahomes. The rest of them niggas dying out. And they gonna be gone real soon. And them young boys gonna come up from the rear. Y'all gonna have new stars in the game.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I think he gonna be the shit.
You didn't just watch Jaden Daniels his
Man, fuck
not
that
even
nigga,
mention
man.
Commanders.
Fuck that.
Yo,
They
come
hyped
on,
him
man.
up.
Yo, stop the bullshit.
He ain't that good. He ain't that listen
Whatever,
player.
man.
But
You
yo,
didn't just watch
I'm
Jaden
talking
Daniels.
about
You
I'm
haven't seen. Go ahead.
Ty.
Joe.
Shedeur Sanders had the same talent as Steve McNair had. Do you agree? He's that type of quarterback. Stay in the pocket, run when he need to, but he's not a running quarterback. He's a pocket.
Steve was way more athletic than Shedeur. Plus Steve had a way bigger arm than Shedeur. Yo, and so I can't really compare Shedeur, and he was way bigger than Shedeur. So I can't really compare. Shedeur reminds me more of a less athletic Randall Cunningham. I think he's very good in the pocket and he's very accurate. And his arm strength is a little bit questionable. It's not bad. I don't think I wouldn't grade Shedeur bad. I'm gonna tell you what doesn't bode well for Shedeur. Shedeur is going to the Cleveland Browns. They're in the same division with the Steelers, the Ravens, and the damn Bengals, all of which have amazing defenses. This young man is not prepared to be on a team like Cleveland, which still needs some real good wide receivers. They got Jerry Judy right now, who has a lot of potential, but man, they don't have a running back. Like I think what's his name is gone. What's his damn, I can't even think of his name, and I had him on my fantasy team right now. But I don't think he's there anymore. Cleveland just wasn't a good spot for him to land, man. It's a good spot as far as him probably getting some playing time because Deshaun Watson is still hurt and he would contend at this point with Gabriel. And that would be it. But I just for a first
Why draft him at all? Why draft him at all? Then why just do him like his brother? Let him find a free agency to go to. Why draft him at all? Now, so are we speaking bad on Cleveland because they got him now? They don't know what they're doing. All the rest of the team was smarter than them, and y'all don't know what you're doing. So you got him. So it sounds crazy to me. Why even draft a dude at all if he can't play quarterback in the NFL? Why even draft a nigga? Why even draft him?
But I never said that. I never said he couldn't play football. I said the situation is not a good situation for him to be in, and that's in Cleveland. I feel like Shedeur would have been in a better situation if Shedeur would have gone to New Orleans because he would have been able to play at least 1 year behind Derek Carr, and then he would have been able to come in and take it over the next year. But at least
Derek Carr hurt. Derek Carr hurt. He's out for the season.
For next season?
Yeah, he's out. His shoulder, he's hurt. That's why everybody thought he was going to the Saints because the Saints need a quarterback.
Okay.
I know this football. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I knew Derek Carr was hurt this season. I didn't know he was out for the entire next season, so I wasn't aware of that. But
majority of it, he's supposed to come back late in the year. He's not going to be starting.
Yeah,
I think it's good. I think it's good.
Well, at least if he would have gone to the Saints have a running game. They still have Alvin Kamara. They still have some receivers out there, and Olave, and who's coming off of injury as well. But they have some weapons out there that would have been able to help this young man. I don't see the weapons in Cleveland. I just don't. They have a good defense, but that division though. Think about that, Bo Pete. He's got to go up against the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals.
I understand, but not too many players get to go where they want to go in the draft. Not too many get to go where they want to go in the draft. Everybody would love to go somewhere they would like to be, but that doesn't happen. But get me on the field, and I can show you what I can do no matter where you send me.
That's how he feel about it. You see him jump up and down. You see him go, yeah. He didn't give a fuck because he has a chance, and that's why I think it's gonna be a big old light on him because he went to the Browns. He don't have to have competition with old boy hurt. So basically, he can just walk in there and be the star of the team if he can make it like that. I think it's great for him.
Yeah, I think there's something memorable. But real quick question, and then I want to go ahead and pass the mic to you, Ty, if you have something that you specifically want to talk about. If it's not this, and then we'll pass it on to Bo and pass it on to Solo. Two-pronged question. One, since you don't think the Browns are a good fit, what would have been a good fit for him? All right. And then number two, after that, I just want to play the some of what was said about the alleged prank call from Shedeur and Shiloh, and see if we can respond on that. And then we'll go ahead and pass it. So what's up, Ty?
I think Pittsburgh would have been a good situation for him.
Oh, really?
If you're going to stay in that division, then Pittsburgh would have been a way better situation. You have a way better coach. You have a way better defense. Well, I'm not going to say way better defense. Cleveland has a pretty formidable defense, but you have a solid defense. You got a solid running game, and you potentially would be put in a better situation in Pittsburgh. So they could have developed him more. I think they would have been able to develop him more. Throwing him into the Lions' den in Cleveland is what you're doing. It could potentially get the boy hurt, and that's what it did to all their quarterbacks last year. You know why Cleveland needed a quarterback this year? Because they broke up all of their quarterbacks last year. Last year they had Deshaun Watson out for the season with an injury. In comes Jameis Winston. Boom, it's injured. Then they're playing at the end of the season with their third or fourth string quarterback, and it looked like they were playing with their third and fourth string quarterback. So Cleveland, I don't see them. I didn't see them make too many moves. They re-signed their big stud in the defensive end, Myles Garrett, but outside of that, huh?
They picked up in the draft an offensive lineman who was like
Mason
in
Grant.
the first round. I was like, damn,
that was their first.
Everybody wanted him. So I'm like, he got something.
Yeah, an offensive lineman. Yes. They're always good. That's why I said this draft was more about picking up offensive linemen, defensive players, and adding to your team's quality of your team's overall play. So I'm not mad at it. I'm just saying that I would have liked to have seen him play behind somebody and get a little bit more experience than just getting thrown into the fire, especially in a division like that. Because it's that division is rough on quarterbacks, is what I'm saying. When you got TJ Watt coming at your ass, when you got all of them dogs that's coming from Baltimore, when you got the dogs that are coming from Cincinnati and Hendrickson and all of those guys. Boy,
Well, I mean, is he expected to start?
Well, I mean, he's expected to contend for a starting position. He hasn't even made the roster yet, so we don't know what's going to happen. He's still got to make the roster.
Bo is losing his mind. What's up, Bo?
Still got to make the roster.
What better place for a player to go where he can prove himself? Every team needs a good leader. So if you got a bad team, you want a great leader. The man is built for it. He built for me from elementary school to junior high to high school. They said the same thing about when he went to Colorado. He shouldn't be the starting quarterback. It should be other quarterbacks out there. Just because he's Deion's son, he making him a quarterback. Deion knew what he was doing. They won one game in Colorado before they got there. What if he go to Cleveland and do the same thing? So why are we talking bad about this man when he proved on the field he can play the game? So he's boastful. So he's cocky. Who doesn't want somebody who believes in their damn self and make the other people around him better? He threw the ball to everybody on the field that he played with, made them all better. 3 of them got to the pros this year. Travis Hunter, Horn, the receivers made it to the pros because this man was throwing them the damn ball, even though he had a bad offensive line. Get a man something to work with and shit. Give him a chance. But all this negativity I keep hearing about the man, fuck that, man. This man's a good football player. He proved that.
Tell him. Don't let them niggas get away with that bull.
Man, I hate the fact that he had a daddy who was confident Daddy who was confident because he played the game at the highest level. Daddy who
Right.
coached his son to play the game at the highest level. They just confident, man. They cocky. So what? They cocky. They cocky. Tom Brady, when the team drafted him, the last play in the damn draft, he told the coach, "This the best your organization." That was cocky. That was cocky too, right?
Yeah. You know, he's spitting facts. He's spitting
Yeah,
facts.
well, I mean, nobody. I know I wasn't bad mouthing the dude. What I'm saying is situations in football. When it comes to football, and you're talking about developing a player, especially a young player, a rookie, it's situations can mess that rookie up, and that's what I'm saying. Cleveland has a bad record of. Think about it. Think about this for a second, Bo Peep. Think about all of the quarterbacks that have run through Cleveland and had had bad instances with them, but went somewhere else and been successful. Baker Mayfield was the #1 pick that came out in Cleveland, went to Cleveland, had a bad experience in Cleveland, but now is thriving over here in Tampa Bay because he's being coached well and they got him in a system that works for him. Then you think about Johnny Manziel when he came out. He was highly touted out of college, went to Cleveland and had a bad experience and totally left the NFL because he couldn't get himself right. Deshaun Watson, another quarterback.
I understand. Cleveland is not the top market for its winning, but every team need a player that can get them to the next level. When Steve McNair went to Tennessee, they wasn't winning. You see what I'm saying? They wasn't winning either till they got him. Look at New England. But before Tom Brady got there, they wasn't in the damn championship bowl game every year. Look at Kansas City when Patrick Mahomes got there. How many years before that was they at a championship? So this man has a chance to do what all them players have done. Just get a man a damn chance, even though it's Cleveland. Even though it's Cleveland. Give him a chance, man.
What Ty? Tell me if I'm misreading this, Ty. It feels like what Ty is saying. He's not saying that he can't do it in Cleveland and he doesn't deserve the chance. It just feels like he's saying it's not the most optimal position. If there was
What I was saying.
Yeah, if there was a better option, then he probably would have. If there was a magic wand and he had any control, he wouldn't have chosen this. Not to say that he can't handle it, Bo P. Not to say that he's not talented. Not to say that he can't work his way into fame through that route. But I think what Ty's just saying is like, yeah, but it's just gonna be harder where he is. You know what I'm saying?
whatever.
I understand that.
Hey man, listen, goddamn it, listen. If we could all wake up next to Beyonce, we would. I love you, babe. But what I'm trying to say is, all both people saying, and all I'm saying is, we happy that the nigga got through the draft. We knew they was shitting on him. Cause think about it, y'all talking about they ain't go for no quarterback. There wasn't that many good quarterbacks. He was a badass quarterback. He was doing his thing. That's what I'm saying. We thought he was going. Why would we think he would go early? Like I thought he was gonna go in the first round. Honestly, I thought he definitely going first round. When he went to the second round, third round, I was like, what the fuck? This didn't make no sense. But if you really look at it, him going to Cleveland, Ty, what I'm saying to you, we will come back to this once he starts. I think he gonna shine. I honestly believe it because they got some linemen out of college, some bad boys. One of them came from Alabama. I mean, he's some bad boys, and Cleveland picked them boys up. And just imagine if he got a nice offensive line. He got one good wide receiver he could throw through because he loves throwing. He loves throwing it. So I just think he's gonna do good, and I know they know he's gonna do good. They put him over there to Cleveland to shut him up. But it ain't gonna happen. I think his nigga gonna be calling his daddy. Him and his daddy gonna be talking about prime time through the whole time.
It's possible. Let's hear what he's had to say about this prank call right quick.
So now I gotta have my phone on now. So,
but what the numbers I call you?
fam, I thought that was a real person that called you, but it actually wasn't, was it?
No, I told you. That was a specific phone number, not in my name, not in anything.
So you bought that phone just for the drive?
Boost Mobile shipped the phone just for the draft.
So how did they get
Nobody had the number.
That's what I'm saying.
The number was only in the email thread that the NFL sent out to only teams.
That's outrageous, bro. So the NFL leaked it, basically.
No, you can't say that. It could be one of their kids. It could be one of their kids that then seen the email and just took the number.
Okay.
That's it. No.
This is day 3, so not.
They
Hey, look at
found
the poise. Look at the poise of this man. At this emotional time, he still is very calm, man. The dude is calm.
No
Like
emotion.
that was a
What
prank
is
call. That was the prank call. Don't worry about it. You know, he's still calm. The man held his emotion the whole time. That's what I like about him. He's cool, calm, and collected.
true.
And if you didn't notice, that the people around him were calm because they know exactly who he is and what it's about. That boy is good, and he gonna get. Hey, I promise you, and I don't care what nobody say. This is one player that I think is gonna do real good the first year.
Now,
Watch.
Ty, let me say this to you, Ty and Vince and Solo. Did y'all see the room when they picked Shedeur? Did you see the coaches in the room? They wasn't clapping like all the other coaches. They were, if everybody else was getting picked, they were clapping, high five, and all this. When they picked Shedeur, they were just sitting there looking at the screen like, okay, we picked him. Nobody else
Is that
wanted him. We
is
picked
that
him.
common? Is it that common of the 5th round draft pick though?
It's common of a 5th round draft pick. By the time you get to the 5th and the 6th and 7th rounds, a lot of those players are usually typically either role players or players that don't wind up making the teams. Now, with Shedeur is an exception to the rule because he was projected to be a 1st round pick. He is a 1st round talent based on his stat line for the 4 years that he played at Jackson State and Colorado. So the boy's numbers speak for themselves, which is why all of the analysts had him projected as possibly the 1st or 2nd best quarterback in the draft. Him and Cam Ward were supposed to be 1 and 2. But what happened was, as you saw him fall, you started to see all these other names kind of kind of surface, and you see a Jackson Dart get picked up by the New York Giants. You see a Tyler Show get picked up by the Saints or wherever he went. I think it was the Panthers or the Saints. And then you start seeing all of these other quarterbacks' names popping off the list before his name. So yeah, do I in any way think it wasn't a conspiracy? No, I think it was definitely a conspiracy to
Yeah.
keep him out of the top positions so that they can have a way to control him. This is more about Deion's comments and them rebelling against it to show you don't control. You might have controlled your son's life
Yeah.
since he was a kid all the way up into college, but this is the big leagues now, sir, and we're going to take over control, and nobody's going to control what we're doing. So this is basically the NFL doing that bullshit, and it's specifically aimed at a black father
Yeah.
and a black man because at the end of the day, what Bo P said was absolutely true. Archie Manning was one of the most entitled and arrogant fathers I've ever seen with his kids. He did the same thing with Peyton when Peyton came out. What happened was they didn't want to play for the Jets. The Jets had the #1 pick in the draft, and Archie was like, "No, hell no, you're not going to the Jets." And Peyton's ass went back to college. That's what happened. Like he was literally supposed to come out the year before and be the #1 overall pick, but the Jets had said they was going to pick him, and Archie was like, "Nah," and Peyton went back to school. So so the same thing happened when Eli came out. Archie was like, "No, Eli, you are not going to play for no San Diego Chargers," and they had to literally make a trade to get the boy to New York.
Yeah.
So this is not any behavior like there's nothing. When I hear people say that Shedeur is cocky and that's why he didn't get it because he's too entitled, that's bullshit. Because I've seen a lot of cocky quarterbacks come out. Joe Burrows was a little cocky when he came out. You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson was a little cocky when he came out.
What's the boy from Texas?
Baker Mayfield.
No, the boy from Texas. The boy from Texas was real cocky. Only played a couple years. Played at Texas A&M.
Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel was cocky as shit. Was cocky as shit.
Very
Very
cocky.
cocky.
What happened to Johnny Football?
This was black owners. These were white owners. These are
Yeah, he
white
played
owners
football.
who did not want this black boy to have the spotlight. These were white owners that did not want him to have the spotlight.
I think it gets worse than that. I think it's not just the spotlight. I think that it was somewhat directed at Deion.
Yeah, of course.
Indirectly.
Absolutely. It was
And
absolutely
so
directed
that's
at Deion.
sad about it as well. Like I said, I was reading the
Now,
article.
let me ask y'all this. Do you think it was too gaudy of him to have on the biggest chain I ever seen? Did you see Shedeur chain? Oh my God! Now that was too gaudy for me.
Nah, man.
First of all, if we're talking about the clip we just seen, that wasn't even the extent of his jewelry because he had on a whole bunch of bling. When the first night when he thought he was gonna go up there, that dude's whole neck was iced out, wrist iced out, rings iced out. He was iced out, sitting in the and waiting with Shenseea. Vince.
Oh, Shenseea from Jamaica?
Yes. Him sitting there chilling with Shenseea. I'm like, dang, how embarrassing is that? You sitting there with Shenseea, like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna be.
And didn't they have the place built specifically for being able to watch the draft?
Yes.
So yeah, that definitely adds insult to injury.